It was a long walk. So Ram stopped temporarily, and then he was just taking a little rest on his bow. Lakshman was also tired, and for a change, Lakshman that day sat down on a stone nearby. This was never Lakshman's way. If Ram is standing, why would Lakshman sit? But very surprisingly, he sat down. No, Ram wouldn't say anything. Of course, he's tired. More than being tired physically, he was very tired mentally. And gradually, something started happening to Lakshman. And Lakshman started saying out a few things to Ram. And he said, what all is happening with us? He said, why did this happen? When did you even think of the slightest negativity or, something bad for the world? You only did good for everyone. Then Mother Sita, she was so pure. Why is all this happening? And then he started finding out some sources and then the causes for all these problems. He said, the actual problem is that gentleman, Dasharatha. Why should he send you out? If you recall, actually, if any one of you read out Ramakadara Savahini, in that Swami has told that Lakshman, even when Rama was planning to move out after Dasharatha, Kaikeyi told him, Lakshman becomes very angry with Dasharatha. So similarly, now he gets back to that mood. And then gradually he gets back to, I don't know whether I should even use this. Is okay? I'll put it a little far away. And gradually his ire goes to Kaika. And then after some time, his ire turns towards Sri Rama. And he says, okay, they are useless people. They told something, why should you listen? You know everything. Why should you come out? And then finally he says, look at me, I'm a stupid guy, I came after you. All these things he was saying. Rama was smiling. And then Lakshman was going on. And then after some time, Lakshman found out that something was wrong with him. Why was he talking all that? So he just got up, fell on the feet of Rama, and he felt, I'm really sorry. What was I saying? And then Rama puts a hand around him and then takes him for a little walk a few yards away. Should I be using that, sir? Oh, okay. So he takes him for a walk a few yards away. And then Lakshman is completely clear now. Tears were rolling down. How could I even sit when you were standing? He comes into this mood. But he says, brother, what happened? Why did I behave like that? Ram says, no problem. That's not your problem. That stone you were sitting on is a stone on which sage Durvasa did meditation, tapas, penance, for a long time. And it was his favorite rock, it seems. So he used to come and then sit on that. But since his anger, naturally he was an angry person, Durvasa. So his anger would come in the way of his meditation. So with his divine Shakti, he used to discharge all his anger into that stone, it seems. And then he used to do a nice meditation, go away. So like that, a few times he would have meditated and quite a bit of anger energy has been stored in that stone. Now, when Lakshmana came there, he had a natural temptation to sit on that. And Sri Rama says, see, it is because you had that propensity in you to get angry, you felt the need to sit on that. I don't have it, so I do not feel the need to sit on that. Now, this is a very beautiful, beautiful story that we can start with. I want to ask you a question before we start. Anybody can answer. How many times do we in our daily life end up doing things which we don't actually like doing? Or end up saying things which we don't want to say? Or end up feeling something which we don't want to feel? Anybody who wants to share? Is my question clear? Do we on a daily basis do something which we repent later we don't want to do? Say something which we didn't want to say? Or feel a particular way which we didn't want to feel that way? Does it happen to us? Or does it happen only to me? Okay. It happens, right? So, does anybody, particularly the children, do you want to volunteer to say out? Give any example. Why? Example is not the key thing here, but why does it happen like that? What is the problem? Lakshmana did not want to be angry, but he became angry. Can we give a thunderous round of applause to this gentleman? Wow. Your good name? Sorry? Mohan. You should be here and I should be there. But that is Swami's Leela. Wonderful. I wish I had known that at your age. It's so beautiful. Can somebody else repeat what he said? He just now said something. Can somebody repeat that? Sorry? Okay, good. We react instead of responding. Two words have been used, reaction and respond. What's the difference? What's the difference?
Reaction is impulsive. Responding is thought of.
Wonderful. I'm repeating what Raghavendra said. Reaction is impulsive. What is impulsive? The individual doesn't seem to have too much of choice about it. It's a choiceless response. What is response? Choiceful reaction. I don't want to confuse you with jargon, but think about it. What is the reaction? For every stimulus, there is a response or a reaction. Let us put it that way. Stimulus, response or reaction. This is a jargon, technical jargon. Now, when the stimulus happens, if my reaction is happening, whether I want it to do that way or not, that's called reaction. When I clearly decide that this is how I should do and do it, that is called response. That's what Raghu is saying. Am I right? How many of you agree with this? Okay. How many of you don't agree with this? Please put your hand up. Now, that's the fun of all training sessions. There would be 25% hands that go up for the first one. There will be no hand going up for the second one. You'll start wondering, where do this 75% belong? Right? I know. We are still at the beginning of it. You are just warming up. But I would request sisters, brothers to participate fully, because this session, the topic is a very important, useful topic for all of us, each one of us. Very important, I'll tell you. Very useful practically. So, in spite of a little bit of tiredness along the day, your participation is going to make this more absorbing for you, interesting for you. Okay, so let's just move on. Can we have the thing? The topic, navigating the life's spiritual insights into, is some topic line I have given. Let's just start off with a few things. I'll not stop a lot on some of the slides. I'll go into some of the slides where I need to stop. Most of you here are students. Am I right? There are also people who are working. Each of us are either working in an area of specialization of some work, or we are studying in an area of specialization, which we call our subject. Physics, chemistry, anthropology, morphology, whatever. Each of us have a subject, right? Agreed? Now, when Swami says learning about external things, he is referring to those subjects. He is referring to the subjects that we are holding on very dear to us. We are trying to make a living out of it. Right? So these subjects, maybe not just for living, but also your penchant for research, your passion for knowing more about the subject, oceanology, whatever, oceanography, and then whatever, atmosphere, ecology, what. Everything which you find outside, external means external to what? External to what? External to you. See, nobody can say, do you know that there is no up and down in this world? It's only a relative notional thing. Do you know that? Do students know that there is no up and down? Moon, is it upper than Earth or below Earth? Below Earth or upper than Earth? To figure out if you made your answer, your 50% answer, go to Moon and then try to see Earth. You will find Earth exactly like the way we look at Moon, up. There is no up and down. There is no left and right. Now, if I go on telling these things, you'll get confused. But definitely there is one thing we can say. There is in and out. With respect to what? With respect to us. Everybody experiences. I'm not telling any philosophy, friends. Please listen carefully. Do you all experience any inner life every day? which only you know, which only you feel, which only you think, which we are trying to desperately hide from the world sometimes? Yes or no? Yeah? So, thank God that's still inner. If it has all become external, we'll all have a problem, believe me. Swami is very kind. In spite of his discipline, sometimes he is still very kind. And he says, "Take inner rehne do yaar." If it starts coming outside, it's a big problem. But there is inner. Is there anybody here who's not experiencing an inner and outer? You are all experiencing. We are all experiencing inner and outer. So external here is with respect to you. Reference point is always me. In spirituality, reference point is always me. Me inside, everything outside. Right? Now, without knowing your real self is like the self. Without knowing yourself, it is like studying the branches of a tree, ignoring its root. It's okay. You can go on reading about branches. You can write tons and tons of theses. You can fill up all libraries of the world with your thesis. You can create new rules. Everything will come. They will stay for 10 years. They will get washed away. That's it. World is world. Believe me, the rate of change that you see in the world today, what we think is with a lot of pride that this is achievement and this is what I have figured out, within 1 year nobody is talking about it. Can you believe this? Ask anybody, any scientist, ask anybody who's doing discoveries, who's talking about innovation. What you call innovation 1 month back is outdated. No longer innovation. Right? So everything that you and I are trying to do outside and trying to take a little feather of achievement about it is useless that way when you look at it. But we have to do it anyway, that's okay. We have been given some capabilities, so we do it. But with this inner thing, how do we unravel? The entire session is a little bit about that. So there is what is called self-awareness. If we are a self, do you know the meaning of self? What is self called in Sanskrit? Self called in Sanskrit? There is a word which you all know. Sorry? Aham. Yeah, that's also right. Can you stand up? Atma. Double the thunderous applause that you have to give to him. Swami is showing more and more that I should be there and they should be here. Why are you sitting there? Okay, anyway, your good name? I'll tell you, this topic called, this word called Atma is a total confusion for people many of us who think that we are very advanced in spirituality, believe me. And if you go to movies, they will show some light coming out of bodies. And Atma has really, some people are hell afraid of Atma. Don't talk about Atma, okay? Because for them it is Bhutatma. Right? And then Atma can be many things, but Atma is self. Atma essentially means self. That's why even in Sanskrit it is referred to Dehatma and then Antaratma. Two things it is referred to. Atma is, because even body is self. Inside is also self. You can refer self at any level. Right? So self, Atma is self. So what is the one capability of Atma? When you go back, what is one capability of Atma? Atma seems to have a capability to look within itself. This is, you and I need not go and try to get it. It is given. Good news, friends. Good news, we all have the capability to look within. You and I need not go through any training program for that. That's the good news. But it might take a little time for us to figure out how to do it, which we'll try. I'll give you a little sample of that the way I understand, and then most of you probably might be quite advanced in that. Okay, so let us just, would you do this small activity along with, maybe I'll do it a little later after this. Can you go to the next one? There's a little quiz question I'll ask and then I'll come to the activity. If you are on an airplane which suddenly hits extremely bad turbulence and begins rocking from side to side, what do you do? Okay, I'm going to give you 4 responses. And I want you to quickly pick up, some of you can tell me what is the response you would do. Next, please. Give all the 4, please. Yeah. Continue to read your book or magazine or watch the movie paying little attention to the turbulence. Become wary of an emergency, carefully monitoring the flight attendants and reading the emergency instructions card. A little of both above, A and B. And 4th one, I'm not sure, I have never noticed. Okay, anyone, please put your hand up in an answer. Yes, sister. B is become wary of an emergency. Okay. Any other responses? C, a little of both A and B. Always safe, no? Right, good. And then anyone else? B. Okay. Nobody for D? D. See, when I ask, some hands will go up. Okay, otherwise now you're not too sure. But you're very wise people. D. Never noticed. Right. Okay, now, shall I give you the expert's answer? I'm not saying I'm the expert. Whoever created this expert, who created this quiz, has polled these questions among a lot of people across geographies across the world, people who are supposed to be wise and intelligent, and they came out with a common answer that what would these people do in this situation? So a situational analysis question. And shall I tell you what is that answer? Okay, you can give the answer. A. Okay. Now, how many of you really thought A, but you didn't want to say that? Please put your hand up right now. Okay, right. I want to ask one of you, why didn't you say it out, sister? You thought that everybody, it cannot be, nobody will accept, something like that. Okay, fine. Okay. It looks like, carefully to read it looks like insensitivity, it looks like inaction, it looks like that is not the way we are meant to be. You need to do something, right? Okay, can somebody at least quickly try and stretch your imagination and tell me, why could this be the right answer? Anybody can answer. Yep.
As well as I think I can imagine that turbulence as I'm reading, it's happening in the book or it's playing in the movie and I can be relaxed.
You can be relaxed. But then, don't you want to do something about the turbulence?
I can imagine it's happening in the book or it's happening in the movie.
So you are relaxed. But what about the rest of the people?
The rest are not imagining.
Rest are not imagining. So you can imagine.
She's the person who's reading a book or a magazine. So
I can be relaxed.
You are one of the passengers. There are probably 150 more passengers. Okay? Everybody is going through that turbulence. Same time. So the right answer seems to be continue to read your book. This is for you. But you chose that answer which is the right answer. But why when I asked you? You said you are relaxed. That's fine. But what about that? Don't you want to help the situation?
Yes, sir. I'll try to convince the people.
Okay, good. Thanks. She's changing her answer now. Okay, good. Somebody else here? Okay.
self-confidence.
Self-confidence. So, I'm trying to decode you. You are saying that even in a turbulent situation, if you just continuing to do what you are doing without getting too much perturbed, is self-confidence. But then how are you going to help the situation? Don't you want to help the situation? You want to help the situation? Okay. I'm unnecessarily asking this question making you change the answer. Right? You're right, all of you are right. I'll tell you. I might not go to every question in the quiz later on to answer this way, but I'm telling you what actually is behind this thinking process. If you are in a situation where, like a flight, which is going through turbulence, think about what are the things that you can influence. You can't change the weather outside. You can't go, even if you're a pilot with lots of experience, that particular flight you'll not be allowed to go inside the cockpit and fly. Most of you might be aware of that. And neither are you the cabin crew to go and then tell people. There are cabin crew who are trained and who are ready to do it. So what is the next best thing you can do as a passenger? Right. So now what you can do is you'll ask the question, but sir, what is wrong with the second answer? Isn't it your responsibility to be wary of the emergency? Go through the instruction card. How many of you have seen that actually initially before the flight starts, the flight attendant gives an instruction and goes on and then nobody really cares and nobody bothers and nobody listens? We've all gone through that? No, not nobody. Some of us must have probably heard it out. But why do you think, is it like a public exam where the classes are given to you in the month of April and you need to write out those questions in next April? Is this what's supposed to be that initially they tell a few things, you remember all that? And actually when some danger comes up, turbulence comes up, you would remember step by step, and then if that they have to be sure that you remember, they would first conduct an essay, an examination for you, believe me. How come they just say something and then they don't bother whether you bother or not? They complete it nevertheless and then they go. What does it mean to you? You know what happens actually? Thank God maybe most of us were not in the situation, but if you are in that situation, cabin crew has been trained exactly to do what they have to do. They will jump into action. Wherever required, they will directly instruct very assertively people to do it. No more politeness. They will just say, sit down. Strap it. Open that. Do it. Do it. Do it. They will just instruct at that moment because they know that 90% of the time, 90% of the people are not listening. But as a regime, they have to just do that. But now they get into action. So the well-trained people are there. You can't do better than them. Now, suppose you started going through instruction card. You could be more stable. Do you know, somebody by your side might not be that stable. They could panic. The moment you are suddenly taking out this turbulence, you take out the instruction card, you are just ending it with the instruction card, somebody will try to open the door. You must have seen some people trying to do that recent times. In the flights. Strange things happen, I'll tell you. Panic can do wonders to mob psychology. I've had a lot of examples. I know we don't have time because once I did a long journey with a safety inspector in industries and all. And then he was telling me so many stories about how mob psychology works, including 50 people losing, they burned to death in a theater that was a converted theater, makeshift theater of a rice mill, somewhere in Andhra. And it had only one exit, one door. 50 people were watching a movie, fire came up. And unfortunately, one person who saw that shouted fire, fire, and he started running towards the door. You know, now you see carefully what happens. He was a safety inspector. That normally whenever there is a mob situation like that, door should open outside. Because the tendency for people will be to run, right? Door should open outside. It's a rice mill. Whoever would have thought about that to be converted into a film theater, and whoever has converted never bothered about safety. Therefore, it was to open inside. By the time he went there close to the door, he realized it is to be inside. But then by the time everybody came behind the person and then started pushing him, saying, bago, bago, bago. And he was trying to go back. Nobody heard him. It was all a kind of problem, confusion. All 50 got charred to death because it was a small place and then fire just caught. The safety inspector told me that people's behavior, mobs' behavior in panic is very different. We think not everybody is so stable as they look right now. For example, like sitting in an AC hall or whatever. It's very different. You see, that's the reason why if you are a little stable person, you would be more cautious about what vibes you are sending to the person next. That's what they're saying, that try, because if you can't do much about that, try to just be normal status quo. It will, because you might not be, if it was required, the flight attendants and then the pilots know better when to announce and when to take control. If they have not done till now, you will go through it and then you'll come out of it. That's the meaning. That's the way it is. So understanding of this in that moment is the situational wisdom that comes up there. It's not easy. It's so easy to talk. But it's not that easy. It takes a little bit of practice to do it. Now, if in case any one of you are thinking, Acha, today we came to know about how to handle flight situations. No, this is not about flight. Now, please pay attention very carefully, friends. Please pay attention to this. Very important. This is very important. There are many situations in our day-to-day life where you are not in charge. Don't try to poke your nose and then spoil the situation. How about that? Are you understanding what I'm saying? The daily application of emotional intelligence I'm telling you, there are many situations where if you try to enter and do something, you'll only complicate it more. Stay calm. Situation will handle by itself for some time, after some time. Otherwise, you'll understand what to do after some time. Okay, so this is the one practical situation. Please go on. I'll introduce, since I'm introducing self-awareness, I'll keep going faster and then we can come to the question and answer. Okay, please go on. Okay, so now one way that Swami tells us a very practical thing, which I'm sure probably you have as a topic here. Did you have it as a topic? Watch. Okay, friend, now, even if you're not paid attention till now, please pay attention right now. Because there cannot be a more practical technique than this. The way self-awareness has to be brought into daily life is watch. W stands for watch your Words means? Words means? Why should we watch? The way we speak? What will happen with that? So, after you say something, can you take back the word? I mean, can I just suppose say something to Raghavendra and then say that, no, Raghavendra, give it back here. I don't want to say that. Impossible. He might even act like saying that, okay, I gave it back just for my comfort. He'll remember it for 10 years. Believe me. So, word is like Ramban. एक बार लिप्स से बाहर आ गया रामबाण. So, कितना सोचना चाहिए? They used to say, Brahmastra, before you release, think twice. Think not twice, 100 times. एक word. See, one English poet said, earlier days people fought with swords. These days they fight with words. Just remove S. Just remove S. Right? So this tongue is becoming like a sword. If I want to take off on somebody, what is that I use? Which sword do I use? And you use it in the sharpest way possible. Isn't it a sword? कितना शार्प होना चाहिए? वो आदमी नीचे गिर जाना चाहिए, bleed हो जाना चाहिए. If my voice can kill, if my tongue can kill, isn't it true? We get into this mood, no? Sometimes, right? See, I'll tell you, there is benefit in civilization. There is also, these are the ills of civilization. We have learned how to speak intelligently, cleverly. But we are still doing himsa a lot with the tongue. A lot of himsa. Okay. So, watch your words. We know, we have enough examples, friends. I need not get into examples. I'll go very quickly. We know what happened because of one wrong word. Kingdoms were lost. Lakhs and crores of people got massacred, murdered. All this because of one word. How people speak. Watch your actions. Why actions? Acha, theek hai. Even if sometimes you have to say a word and then you ask for forgiveness, that's okay. Action is a little more difficult. Suppose whenever you feel like slapping somebody. I'll ask this question. I'll ask the youngest denominator. Why should we not slap somebody? Why should we not slap somebody?
Saram to all. Because it will become
He has the answer, he's just not able to bring it out. Yeah, you're thinking right, please tell me.
because it will become some
Conflict.
war.
War. Very good. Please. What is so beautiful is the clarity and courage of at that age to stand up and then give the answer. So beautiful. Okay, but I'll ask you, why should we not slap the other person?
Because it's rude.
It's a rule.
It's rude.
It's a rule.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the problem? The person is supposed, he deserves it. I feel that they deserve it.
Hold back your actions. Hold back your actions.
Hold back.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem is that you're all so good that you're already into action. I'm asking much more basic things. So what he said is right. But did you ever ask this fundamental question to yourself? Why should we not hurt the other person physically? The answer is not as complicated as we think. It is much more simpler. Why should I not slap the other person? Huh? So what happens if he beats again? No, he came to the answer, but then he got into action too much. Yeah. Humanity dies. Beautiful. Yes, please. Can you shout out? We don't have any right to hurt the other person. See, these are all man-made laws, rules. A situation comes up where I need to hit the person. You're right, by the way. Okay, you're right, by the way. We don't have any right to hit. That's true. But the point is, shall I tell you the answer is much more simpler? You'll be very sorry. You had to say something. Sorry, say that again. We should only give what we expect for ourselves. Can we give a big round of applause here? Friends, Many things, they look so complex in the name of dharma and all, but when we understand it, actually dharma in every situation is do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. Why should I not hit? Because if they hit, you won't like it. What you don't like for yourself, don't do it to others. Why should I not tell a lie? Because if others lie to you, you won't like it. If I say Sathya Harishchandra, if I say keep telling truth, you will feel that it's a very big task to do. But do you like if somebody tells you a lie? What would you prefer, a lie or a truth from the other person? What would you prefer? Okay, if you prefer a truth, you tell the truth. How much logic and how much of knowledge is required to understand this? 5th class is enough. 4th class is enough. Believe me, to lead a dharmic life, you don't need a lot of knowledge, a lot of shastra. Simple. Only thing is clarity we need to have. क्यों नहीं करना है? इसलिए नहीं करना है. Swami says, help ever, hurt never. Hurt क्यों never? Because if they hurt you, you won't like it. Don't do it. Now, some people might say, they need a little more logic. Some people might say, but I don't mind if they hit me, I'll again hit back. Suppose somebody gives this logic, okay? This might also be there. We should look at that 1%, 2% examples also. Somebody says, ठीक है भैया, I don't mind being hit, but then I'll hit back much more stronger, so I'll hit therefore. No. Because that's when help ever, hurt never now turns into, first of all, develop love. And love becomes tolerance at that stage. Because there could be situations where others feel the same way about you. They don't like, they want to hit you. And do you know, there could be situations in your own life where your mother or father felt about you like that in your life, in your childhood. But they didn't do that. And so you grew up to be a nice person. Many times somebody could have lost their patience. They were on the verge of losing their patience. But they held on and then they said that, no, I'm not going to do this. If they gave you that boon, if they gave you that forgiveness, can you pass it on to somebody else in the society? Simple. Again, it is all dharma. It is all dharma. Okay, so actions are so, thoughts, character, heart. I'm not going to go into this. This topic is a topic for one-day workshop. We have to take only this topic and discuss about it to make it practically applicable for us. Believe me, it's not just theoretical understanding. But one thing I can tell for everybody's understanding, watch is like this, but the action starts from here and goes back like that. I can't tell a lot about it, but you think about it after you go back home. First, heart should change, undergo some change. Heart should melt a little bit. There should be karuna. Daya galiginade hrudayamu. Without daya, without karuna, you are never going to be successful in interpersonal relationships or social relationships. It's all about karuna. There should be something that moves here. It starts with heart, and gradually if you develop that soft heart, it becomes your character. Your character starts becoming karuna, and then your thoughts get fashioned by karuna, and then your actions automatically. Don't try to modify physical things first. Inside out. Inside out. That's what Swami says. So this is the only thing I want to say. That's how we change. Don't try to start, if we're trying to change how soft I should speak won't work so easily, unless this is also parallelly happening inside. So it's an internal and external. Next one, please. Okay, activity time. All of you, there's a little guided thing. Whatever you have in your hands, purses, bags, etc., please put it down. Teddy bears. Please make yourself a little free. So, sit straight, as straight as possible. Gradually close your eyes. Close your eyes. I assure you, no harm will come to any one of you. Please pay attention to the sounds, noises that you hear around you. Could be the noise of the fan, could be some distant voices. Now gradually get your attention onto your body. Feel your head, feel it. Don't visualize it, please. Feel your head, means take the attention there. Feel your shoulders. Feel your face, the cheek muscles. Along the day when you are putting in a lot of activity or you're tired, you can see that actually there's a tiredness when you feel it. When you feel your shoulders, you can feel something behind, probably some tiredness. Feel your hands up till the fingertips, feel it. Feel your abdomen, feel your legs, your knees. If anybody has any pain somewhere in the body, try to feel that pain. Feel the toes, the digits on your feet, and quickly feel back everything that you did once more till the top of the head. Digits, feet, legs, abdomen, shoulders, hands, face, and head. Now get your attention onto the breath that's going in. Your stomach comes up, belly comes out, goes out, belly goes in. Breathe inside, out. Breathe in, out. Try to go with the breath inside yourself. Take your attention along with the breath, as deep as possible. Lungs are expanding when you breathe in. Now, when I snap my finger, just see what is the thought in your mind. Observe what is the thought. Now. Get your attention back to your breath. Goes out, comes in. Get your attention to your body. Particularly if any part of the body is paining, please take your attention there. Get your attention to the sounds around you, noises. And gradually open your eyes, please. How many of you are still with us? Yeah, oh, good. Obviously, I can't expect those who are not with us to raise their hands. Good. But don't worry if some of you felt that a little sleep, if some of you went into that other realm a little bit and then touched and came out, probably you are a little refreshed with this activity. Actually, it should be a little longer, but it is a little refreshed. It's okay. Understand this much, friends, before I get into this activity and then understand from you, your experience, I want to tell you this. Anytime when you are putting yourself into relaxation, if you're feeling sleepy, it is just a pointer to you that your body is asking you what you have been depriving it of. It's just about that. Don't curse yourself that I want to meditate but I'm feeling sleepy. No. If you feel like sleeping, sleep for a while. But after you slept again, don't sleep. I mean, if there is a sleepiness that is coming out of your tiredness, you better give that rest to the body. Right? We abuse the body a little bit. We abuse it. Right? Okay, anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to the point. Can anybody very quickly tell me what has been your experience through this activity? No more than 2 minutes, the entire activity. What has been your experience? Can somebody who has not shared till now, can you please share? Sorry? Peaceful. You felt peaceful at the end of it? Okay. Why do you think you felt peaceful?
It was silent, sir. Yeah, silent and pleasant.
She experienced Prashanti Nilayam. So she felt peaceful. Silence. So it was peaceful. Okay, anybody else?
It was very calm.
It was very calm. Wonderful. Anyone else? What happened actually? What did you observe? Relaxed. Any insights into this activity? Let me put it this way. Insights. What is your pickup from the activity? What did you understand? Thoughtlessness. Okay. Since he said that, I'll ask you this question. When I say snap, I say snap my finger and you observe what thought is there. How many of you could observe your thought? Did anybody observe your thought? Could you observe your thought? What was the thought, if you can share? About your friend. Okay. You're not being a good student here. Sit down. No, she said, she was thinking about the moment what is a thought, thought of a friend came up. Anyone else? Exactly. How many of you experienced this? She said, prior to me saying the snap, there was some thought, which could be the thought about the instruction I'm giving, for example. But the moment I say observe, there was no thought. I mean, there was nothing to observe. Kya observe karu? Does it give you any insight? Very strange. The insight is, all thinking can happen only in your absence. This is again a subject for 10 days workshop. Let's not get into that. All thinking in us can happen only in our absence. When that which is observing becomes mixed up with the thinking, this is called life. When that which is observing can observe the thinking, you'll find that the thinking dies down. And that is what is called peace. This is what Buddha says, and he experienced and he found and he gave us. That's the whole objective of meditation. Whole objective of meditation is not that you are going to find some lights and all. Please read Dhyanavahini that Swami gives. It is to get back to your situation of calmness, which you are all the time actually. Get reconnected to who you are, that's all. Okay, anyway. The interesting aspect, insight for me also is, I'll tell you. Yeah, sure.
So when you said snap, there was a thought going on previously. Every time you said snap, then a frame, I was able to think of frame.
Fair enough. So, the truth is that it's such a fast process in us. It could be nanoseconds. The thoughtlessness could be nanoseconds. And the thoughts that creep up also very, very fast. So between me snapping twice, it is possible that you touched upon the thoughtlessness and then you came back quickly. So that's what happens actually speaking. We all touch upon that once in a while. How many of you feel that euphoria during listening to music sometimes? Or seeing a very nice scenery? Or maybe even eating what you like? There is a very a fraction of a second of euphoria that you will touch where you will experience thoughtlessness. These are all experiential things we need to capture in our day-to-day life. We miss out on that. We do go through thoughtless. If you are not able to find gaps between thoughts, we are done, friends. We are done. We will be in mental hospitals. What is NIMHANS? No? We will surely be in NIMHANS. Thank God there is gap between thought and thought. Only thing is, can we establish ourselves, can we connect to that space is the whole point. That's all meditation all about. Anyway, here I'm not talking about meditation, I'm talking about meditating while being alive and doing our jobs, right now, for example. Now, please listen to me carefully. I keep saying this again and again, not because I'm afraid that you are not listening to me. I say this to appeal to your mind to get back your self-awareness to the current moment. I hope you're understanding. Very important. We need to be our own instructors from time to time. And we need to keep telling the monkey mind, come back, come back, come back. It likes flights of fantasy. It is used to it too much. We need to instruct it and say, come back. If any one of you heard in Swami's own voice, Jyoti meditation, that Swami tells this every moment. Swami tells after getting the Jyoti inside, once more tell your mind to instruct. Aisa karke bolte. Swami says, instruct your mind like this. Swami tells. Very important that we give instruction to the mind. Okay, so the point is, in this there are a few steps. Please, each one of you can do this for prolonged time, for at least 5 minutes or 10 minutes in your home every day morning. I recommend you to do whatever I did here. That's the first action point for you. But then what did I do? I just did the condensed part of it. You need to expand it a little bit for more calmness. I asked you to close your eyes. 90% of the inputs are cut out temporarily. But if you close your eyes and then if you start again opening the inner fantasy, again it will pick up. So the moment you close your eyes, start getting into the activity quickly. What is that activity? I said, observe the sounds. How many of you could observe some sounds? Observe. I'm not using the word hear. I'm not using the word see. I'm using the words observe. Please be careful about it. Okay, you all heard sounds. Like what? Go on telling. Fan. Somebody's talking outside. In fact, some of you must have, just before I got into the instruction, there were some peacocks that were actually shouting out. Some of you could have recreated that peacock shouting, because once I asked you to close your eyes, peacock stopped shouting actually, when you looked at it carefully. But some of us who, because we like that sound, we could have recreated also, which means now your mind made that sound. So strange. The sound need not be from outside. The sound comes from mind also. Okay, it is just about the resolution we get into in terms of our observation. The more finer observation we get into, the more calm you can become faster. Resolution, finer. If you are gross, we'll be with the world. If you are subtle, you'll get back into yourself a little more faster. Okay. Now, you heard out the sounds. Great. Now, what did I say next? I immediately said, scan your body, feel your body. How many of you could actually, I said, take your attention to your head. Take your attention to your, how many of you could feel it? Can somebody please put your hand up? I'll be so happy. See, there's a little difference here. Picturizing your mind, your body in your mental picture is not what I'm saying. That is what we usually do. I picturize my head. I picturize my hands. That's not what I'm saying. Feel it, which means you should take your attention. Can I feel my hand? Right now, I'm trying to feel it. Can I take my attention there? This comes with a little practice. We should practice this. At the end of the day, it's our body. You know, when we feel it, we definitely feel it. When actually there's pain. Or maybe a pleasurable sensation also. So when there is a telling sensation, we feel it. But neutrally, why don't we feel it? Because we are not used to it, that's all. And that is Pasutattvam. Only feeling pleasure and pain and not being able to feel our body or whatever you put your attention on whenever you want is Pasutattvam. Okay, just keep that in mind. That's what Swami said. We need to move ahead. Yep. Pasutattva means it's like the animal. Peacock thing. So just before I started the instruction on closing your eyes, there were some peacocks that were actually shouting outside. There were some sounds of peacock. Maybe you heard or maybe not. Some of you heard. Sir heard, I think. Or maybe some of you heard. How many of you heard that? It's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong if you didn't hear it. There are no 95% marks that will be given to you if you heard it. Don't worry about it. But the point is this. The point is this. You didn't hear. Now, shall I tell you the truth? You didn't hear because you're focusing on something else. You didn't hear because your attention was elsewhere. That's all. It's not your incapability to hear. This is what I have shown throughout this activity. I asked you to observe your body. Now I'll step out and say, while you're observing or feeling the body, how many of you could hear the sounds, fan sound? No, while you're observing your body. If you really did that activity I asked you to do, if you really felt the body, you will not be aware of the fan sound. You got my point? Did you get my point? If you're not clear, please ask me if you're not clear about it. There is a growing level of attention fixing if you choose to fix your attention on the body feeling, you could easily come over the attention of the sounds around you. To a great extent. Doesn't it happen with all of you? Some of you are working and then so engrossed in the work you are doing, somebody said something by your side, you won't know. You say, what? They'll say, what? I've been talking. I've been sitting here. Everybody heard me. You didn't hear? Really, I didn't hear. That's what you will say. Why? Right. The point is, your understanding of anything is a function of your attention. Okay, now go on. From the body, I said breath. How many of you could actually feel the breath going in and coming out? Or, at least went through that. See, subtler things are not easy to visualize also, so you should try. We won't get the thing, still it could be some physical manifestations, lungs are coming out, diaphragm coming out and then going in. It could start there, no problem. But gradually, we will start feeling a little more solid, a little more tangibly actually something going in, something coming out. It's just practice, a little bit of practice. Now, once you see that, once you are there, you would have probably forgotten even any itches and twitches on your body. The earlier pain you felt somewhere on your body, also you'll forget when you're focusing on the breath. Now your attention moved out from there. Please pay attention carefully right to what I'm saying right now. Focused selective attention. You could come from outside sounds, external world, to your body. Inside the body, the breath you went. Then I said thought. Manomaya kosha. Annamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha. Manomaya kosha. And I said, you could even observe and say, where is the thought? You are searching for the thought. Where is it? No thought. You are at that level of subtlety that now you are totally alert, which means you are self-aware completely. You are standing as a self to observe, and there is no thought. This is called self-awareness in spirituality. Friends, if you go to the outside market, they will say self-awareness means knowing your strengths and weaknesses. That is a very superficial definition. What I am telling you is a definition that Swami gives. Please pay attention to this and then find out like this. It's not just strengths and weaknesses. That's part of it, very small part of it. It's about you standing as self. That is self-awareness. Awareness ho, so your decisions are right. Your management is right. Awareness na ho, you get carried away. Okay, so this is the principle. Go on. That's the activity. Okay, one more situation I'll give and then I'll probably move on. Imagine you are an insurance salesperson selling insurance policies. You approach a number of prospective clients who slam the door on your face and refuse to buy policies. What will you do? 4 responses. Next, please. Give all the 4. That's all. Okay. Blame yourself and stop work for the day. Reassess your capabilities as an insurance salesperson. Anyone who sold insurance anytime here? Okay. You sold? Okay. So you would be able to relate more to this, madam. So come out with fresh strategies to overcome similar situations in future. Contact the clients again some other day. 4th one. Okay. Contact the clients again some other day. Dear, you're not even started your career. Without knowing. Oh, wonderful, yeah. Great. Raghavendra is looking back because who is this guy I should hire? Because banks are selling insurance. Right. So, any other pickup? C. Come out with fresh strategies to overcome similar situations in future. Right? Sorry? First one. Blame yourself and stop work for the day. That's better? Blame yourself and stop work for the day. You're trying to sell insurance to somebody. That somebody is not responding. Why should you blame yourself? Can somebody tell me? No, listen carefully. What I'm saying right now, please let it not pass off very easily. Brothers, sisters. You are trying to tell something to others. You're trying to make a presentation in your college or in your organization. The others are not ready to pay attention. Why should you blame yourself? You're trying to tell a truth to the society. The society doesn't want to hear the truth. Why should you blame yourself? Why? So are you saying actually about the second one when you say that? You want to reassess, maybe I should present it better. That's what you're saying. So first one is ruled out. Believe me. First one you should rule out. I don't want to even discuss about it. Because whenever something doesn't go your way, how many IIT seats are there every year? How many students get seats in IIT? 2,000 or something? 2,000. How many people appear for IIT entrance? So let's take 2 lakhs just for the sake of it. 2 lakhs is to 2,000 ratio kya hai? Okay, whatever it is. Suppose, let us say that out of 2 lakh people, 10% of the students really put efforts. Fair enough? Is it a good assumption? 10%. Who are the 90%? Other 90%, there are people like me who are trying to appear because parents asked me to go and do it. Or some other factor. Peer pressure or whatever. Okay? So 90% knock off. So is it a safe assumption? 10% at least put the right effort. Fair assumption. So 20,000 students put the right effort. But only 2,000 are getting. What is happening to the rest? Out of the 20,000, I will make another assumption. 10% of the 20,000 put an extremely good effort. Okay. Out of them also, maybe if 2,000 seats, suppose it's 1,000, even then 1,000 more don't get it. So what are these? Out of this 1,000, another 10% are waiting for either Vidhan Saudha or Charminar or Tank Bund to jump. Why? Because of one. Because of one. Why are you blaming yourself for some result that happens in this world? Why so much of ego? As if you went and then did something, it should happen. If I bowled, the batsman should get out. If he hits a 6, I am to be blamed. I will not eat for the day. Do you see the farce of this? This is actually a joke. It doesn't happen like that. It just happens on 1,000 situations that come up on that day. 1,000 factors might be there. The cybernetics deals with this only. Every event that is happening is decided by many factors, which you can't even think of. Yes, US is a major factor. It can do some wonders. Reassess how many people are able to represent the Indian cricket team? Are these 11 the only good people? You understand what I'm saying? That's it. That's life. Okay. So reassess your capabilities as an insurance salesperson. Okay. Shall I tell you something very interesting? Suppose you said that I did not speak properly, that's why they did not buy the insurance. Probably you spoke like this today because 2 days back you said the same dialogue and did the same thing and you got the insurance. Now, how come that day you did not reassess your capabilities and today you are reassessing your capabilities? Then the second is knocked out. You will say at least that, different situations, different strategies. So I should know, I should be trained on all strategies for all sorts of people. Different folks, different strokes. That's the mantra. That's the mantra. So let me train myself in all the strategies and all. By the time you get trained, actually your career will be over, I'll tell you. Ask anybody who's working. You don't have enough time to get trained also many places. You just have to go and perform. You just have to perform, right? So training is okay, limited extent, right? So the third one is also not workable. The fourth one, contact the clients again some other day. Now, sister has worked in insurance, so I want to ask her. Oh. I'll tell you, those people who sell insurance are the most courageous people. बहुत courage होना चाहिए insurance sell करने में. Okay, anyway, please listen to this. There are some things in this world which work only by statistics and numbers. They don't work because of your capabilities alone. That's why in insurance they say, if you knock 10 doors, 2 shall open. That's what they say, right? In any sales they say that. Any salespeople here? If you knock 10 doors, 2 shall open. Do you know the difference between person with good luck and bad luck at that time? You see, statistics might be right as you're going to a higher population. So you might knock 100. But still, there are some people who will come back and say that, yes, 10 doors, 2 doors will open and all didn't work for me, man. I did 45, I did 75. Knockings and nothing opened. What are you talking? Statistics on 100 should be right. Now, unfortunately, this is the bad luck guy, for whom the 20 will open, but they'll be the last 20. That's all. He could not last till the last 20. Who is a very fortunate, lucky person? The first 20. That's the only difference, friends. Statistics is right. Principles are right. But your luck and my luck and our prarabdha is working like this, that whether it's the first 20 or last 20, how many people can persist? That's the only. So the game of life seems to be only persistence. You go to salespeople, that's what they will say, persistence. Be at it. You'll have it. Be at it. You'll get it. See, right now I'll tell you, fighting even certain things within us is like that. Right now, the tiredness and then the temptation to, or the mind saturation, if it is telling you right now that, oh my God, I had enough for the day. If you give in to that thought, it will start sliding you down thinking that, bahut mushkil ho gaya. Tell yourself one shake like that and say that I will listen. And you'll be surprised you'll be able to listen more. This is life. I don't know how many of you got it. If you got it, you are lucky. Okay, so move on, please. The right answer is, that's it. Just keep plugging it away. Right? Okay, next one, please. Like I told you, steady mind is the mark of a truly educated person, which we all like. Swami wants us all to be steady. All study is for steadiness, Swami says. Definite regulations are important. So not only awareness, but self-control is also important. So let's move on, because we are talking about emotional intelligence as a whole. What is happening as a mistake? Like I started with the question, why do we end up doing what we don't want to do, etc. It is not based on your intention alone. This is what is happening, friends. Yeah. So when the central one, right? Okay. So when anything is happening, somebody, now I'll give an example and then this example will be easy for you. You are going on the road. Somebody comes and then hits your vehicle from behind. It's a new vehicle. And then you are so happy. Nice wind blowing. And then you're driving your two-wheeler, electric vehicle. Happy. Somebody from behind comes and then happens in Bangalore traffic. If I ask Bangalore people, they'll say, yahi hota hai. People will say it happens only in Bangalore. But ask me, in Hyderabad also it happens. Okay, so everywhere it happens. Okay, so what is the stimulus that happened immediately? Till then your mind was at a certain level. Suddenly a stimulus comes that something wrong happened which you didn't want. And the stimulus to the behavior that comes out, you'll be surprised it might be nanoseconds or microseconds time. But within that, what is happening in our brain, I'm telling you, it goes and then touches the behind part of this brain, which is called the reptile brain mostly here. This is where the emotional seat is there. And it goes and first touches that. And there's an emotion that comes up. Anger, sadness, despair, depression. That is what first decides. Whereas the behavior seems to be coming out of your thinking. No, it is not first coming from thinking. It is coming from your emotion. It hits your emotion. And there is a filter at your subconscious level, which is nothing but all the conditioning that you and I got. Many situations like that which happened in your life till now. And the kind of responses you have given got recorded and impressed, which is now called the filter. And that is this emotion is just going through the filter. So your thinking might be anything like, I want to be very polite with this person. I want to have soft speech. But your filter is red inside and anger. So when the stimulus comes in such a way that emotion is triggered, obviously what comes out is anger. Unfortunately, there is no thinking time. If it happens to Lakshmana, think about you and me. Good news. We are at least in the same company as Lakshmana. Bad news. Lakshmana realizes it very fast. We sometimes don't realize throughout our life. Our lifetimes. That's a problem. Okay, so that's the reason why emotional intelligence is the most important intelligence. How many of you have heard of IQ? Did you take your IQ test? Anyone who has taken your IQ test? You got a good score? You administered. So you also took for yourself, obviously. You must have got a terrific score, I'm sure. Good score. Very good score, right? In fact, most of you and all of you must be very successful. If you are successful, you would be above average IQ. Getting good scores, grades in the college, You are getting good jobs, you are doing good courses in the universities, you are all above average in terms of IQ. Now listen to this truth, friends. Listen to this truth. IQ is not proportional to happiness in life. There's no correlation. That's it. Whereas, there is another quotient called EQ that is based on emotion. And though it has been seen with 95% correlation, this is a statistical survey research, 95% correlation, people with better EQ are more happier in life.
Low IQ and happiness, is it no correlation or low correlation?
No correlation.
No.
No correlation. Which means you could have high IQ, you could be highly happy. You could have high IQ, you could be terrible, horrible, feeling very bad, suffering. You could have low IQ, still be very happy. You could have low IQ and be miserable too. That's what I meant. Thanks for clarifying. It's no correlation, it's no correlation. Which means they are like two parallel lines. Whereas EQ, now if they are two parallel lines, what can you do about it? If you are lucky, if you are born in a genes or a DNA or a family or somewhere where you are born with high IQ, aapka ho gaya. Now you can't change it much. Do you know that IQ cannot be improved more than 5 points? What has naturally come to you as an IQ, you can't. Some races in this world have more IQ, like the Israelis and all. It has been found that they have better IQ than others on the average. It is genetic, mostly. But people are talking too much about it. They are more intelligent than you. They are more intelligent than me. How many of you are unhappy that your neighbor is more handsome than you or more beautiful than you? This is a serious question I'm asking. How many of you are unhappy that your neighbor is more handsome, not more rich, not more wealthy, more handsome or more beautiful? How many of you are unhappy? Nobody will answer this question, I know. But actually we are unhappy. And you'll be surprised that you did, what surprise? It's an open secret, right? How much did you have to do with your, what should be the length of your nose? How much of hair you should have? When should the hair turn white like mine? What should be your height? 5'4" or 6'4"? Who determined? How much of say did you have, you tell me? अभी आपका कुछ say है ही नहीं उसमें. किस बात का चिंता कर रहे हैं भैया? It has been said that 90% of sorrows in life are like this, about things which you and we cannot do anything about it. Now, most people are also worried about who will win the election. You can do only one thing, go and vote. Nothing more. They can't even vote, Papa. They can vote at least, right? Strange. I'll tell you strange. That's why you should all read being proactive as a habit of Stephen R. Covey. He says, effective people, they operate from the circle of influence and not from the circle of concerns. About which you and I cannot do much, don't even think about it, don't bother, don't waste your time, don't waste your head on that. Believe me, this is the truth we should take away from this room today. I'm talking as if I do all that. And outside I go, suppose Raghavendra said that, Kota, your talk was okay, but sir's talk obviously was much better. Kuch chalta hai yahan. This is our problem. Why? Sir is always better than me. He could be better than me. His background is better. His knowledge is better. He's more wise. He can do a better talk than me. Why should I be bothered about it? How does it hurt me? But we are not happy with just our thing. I should also be told, he should come and say that, Kota, your talk was the best out of all the talks. Only then, this is our problem. Yes or no? Is it only my problem or is it your problem also? Let's drop this problem in this room and go out, friends. Let's drop this problem. Jo diya, wo perfect diya gaya hai. God has given us the best body, best family, best situation, best everything, believe me. Best than others, nahi. Best for ourselves. Please get this. The problem is not about what has been given. The problem is, are we able to utilize that well? What has been given. Right. So, this Filter is years long. None of us are born today, so all emotions have created a color, and then that color is interpreting in a particular way and behavior. So, same situation, some stimulus comes, 4 people are interpreting it in 4 different ways, and therefore their behaviors are different. Principal is angry. Principal is angry about 4 teachers. She calls 4 teachers into her cabin the same day, same session, and then fires them left, right. 4 of them come out. One teacher is saying, oh my God, my life is gone myself. How can she insult me like this? The second teacher is saying that, she's jealous of me, that's why she's doing that. The third teacher is saying that, okay, she doesn't know the reality, that's why, otherwise I'm okay, she doesn't know my reality. Fourth teacher is saying that, 4 different responses, stimulus is the same. Same principle, firing all of them in the same way at the same time. Yes or no? Why are there differences in the responses? Because responses is based on interpretation. Interpretation is based on the filter. Filter is based on the emotion that came up in you at that time. And stimulus being the same, outside is the same. Behavior is outside the same. We are trying to modify behaviors without caring about this aspect. That's a problem. Only behavioral modification won't help us. We need to do something internally, change a few things internally. How? Please go on. Please go on. Okay, please go on. Go to the next one. Okay, one activity, friends. Please go on, sir. Don't worry about the activity. This quiz time also I'll jump. Jump, sir. Please tell. Jump. Go on to the next one. Okay. On this alone, give me 5 minutes and then I'll sum up the whole thing for you and this will clarify. Between stimulus and response, it is important for us to know that we have the freedom to choose. This is the first understanding we need to have. Please pay attention. I don't want to be like the school teacher, but I request all the backbenchers there. Backbenchers there. Here. I don't want you to miss out on this. That's why I'm saying, please, don't mind. Pay attention to this. This is very important. We have the freedom to choose between what is coming in as stimulus and then how we respond. There are some reactive responses that are emotion-based, feelings-driven, situational, inconsistent. And there are proactive responses, value-based, choice-driven, strategic, and consistent. One of the easiest ways as a technique I've already shown you is self-awareness technique. With self-awareness, you can give gap between stimulus and response. Whenever somebody says something, whenever some input comes to you, whenever some accident happens, whenever some stimulus suddenly comes in, somebody abuses you, etc., before you respond or react, give a little time gap. The time gap works beautifully. I don't know, Balvika students would be aware of this. Swami has given techniques on how to come over anger. How many of you know this? Same situation. And what did he tell? Can you give me one technique? Drink water. What will drinking water do to bring down anger? What has water got to do with anger? Sorry? Count up to 10. What has that got to do with anger? Swami told many things beautifully. One of the other things Swami said is go and look at yourself in the mirror. You never want to look at your face again. Right? And then fourth thing Swami said is that go and then open the tap in the, lie down. Go and open the tap in the bucket, bathroom. और जब पानी गिरता है, tune up, make your shruti of the bhajan to that and then start singing a bhajan, he said. Swami told many things. Okay, interesting things. But there is only one objective of all the things he told. Do you know what it is? Give a time gap. If you have to do this, particularly if you want to drink water, don't keep water ready by your side when you get angry. Even if it is there, go to the kitchen, walk 20 steps, take out your glass, be a little not happy with the glass condition, wash it again. Go and then fill the water slowly. And then get the water, don't start drinking there, get back to your hall, sit in your sofa, and then aaram se peena, and then check out what happens at the end of it. You don't step into the same waters twice. That's what is saying, proverb. Lakshmana, when he got up from that rock, he is not the same Lakshmana. Everything is determined by desha kala paristhiti. Desha means location. Kala means time. Give a time gap, give a location gap. This is the best way to deal with emotions. The best way to deal with emotions is that if you're feeling like hatred towards someone, best thing, change the location. Don't stay there, go away. Or if you feel like writing a mail to somebody because you really hate them, write it if you want, but put it in the draft sentence, say tomorrow morning I'll mail it. I saved my job 4 times like that. 4 times I saved my job like this. We are all prone to impulsiveness. Some of us more, some of us a little less. If you are fortunate, if our family conditioning was in a particular way, we are more fortunate probably, less impulsive a little bit, but everybody becomes impulsive. The pressures of the world are becoming like this, sisters, brothers, that everybody is supposed to be impulsive many times. In this insane world, can you be sane? Yes. Through emotional intelligence. Through giving a gap. Okay, next one please. So, self-awareness is only, but this is the starting wheel. If you started, none of the other things you need to do. Why self-regulation is important? Control, self-control, Swami said. Self-regulation is equally important, but if self-awareness comes, self-regulation comes. How many of you like me, how many of you like sweet? Okay, so how many of you probably you stopped eating sweet because you felt it's not right for you? No, most of you are very young, you must not have done it. Actually. So, see, when I'm telling this, I should be very careful. Swami is listening. I don't do it at all. I always keep making a mistake here. I keep eating. But then I'm telling because I know it theoretically, I'm telling you. Just imagine that you just resolved that day, I'm not going to eat sweet. You told your family, from now, January 1st, no more sweets. It looks so good. Everybody is clapping for you. And look, you feel on the top of the heaven. And evening, your entire family goes for a movie. You are there at home. And your mother or spouse or somebody, she made rasgullas and then kept them in the refrigerator. You did not want to go to the refrigerator actually to eat rasgullas, Papa. You went only to take water. You opened the refrigerator. Right in front of you, there are 5 beautiful rasgullas floating in that wondrous liquid. One look at it, and something happened in you, right? And then somebody, now they used to show in old movies, one white fellow and one dark fellow come out from the same person like this. Both of them are talking. Okay, this is a beautiful way, conscience. Huh? So what happens is at that time, you felt that, okay, ek to aaj kya hai to no problem. Today is January 2nd. I already did 1 day workout. No? And then it was okay, quite okay. And then of course, from now on, from tomorrow it should be okay. See, right, what to do? From next time I'll ask her not to do rasgullas. But right now, these 5 are there. Why to waste it? Mind is the master justifier. Master justifier is our mind. Is it only for me or all of you experience this? Because the way you are looking at it, it looked like you are looking at a stranger and an alien. And then I felt maybe I feel it. Okay, so now you are about to get a bowl from the kitchen and then dole out one of the rasgullas. Then something, let's just imagine that something came out in your mind. And you said that, what, Kota? Just yesterday you were giving a lecture. You're talking about self-control. What has happened to it? Now you felt a little bit of prick. Conscience pricks. You felt a little bit of prick from inside. Then, this is the beautiful moment you see. Then you close the refrigerator door without having the rasgulla and you walked out. How do you feel about yourself? Do you feel deprived of rasgulla or do you feel very good about yourself? Can anybody tell me? If not rasgulla, we must have gone through some situation or the other. How do you feel? When you exercise self-control, how do you feel about yourself? You feel great. This is the most important thing. Everything you and I do in our lives is to feel great. Right? So, you came back, you stepped back, and then you stopped doing what you wanted to do. Self-regulation happens because at some point your self-awareness worked. The engine has started, it will start acting on that, and when it starts acting, it will start motivating you towards understanding others better, and then because of the factor called empathy, and this is a cycle this is happening. A gentleman called Daniel Goleman, who has defined emotional intelligence, is defined by these 5 components that I am giving you, these 5 components. But we need not bother about all of the other things. the journey starts as only with this. It is all, the foundation of everything is self-awareness. If you try to develop self-awareness with a little bit of pranayam, little bit of dhyanam in the morning, etc., or observing yourself, things will be fine. Okay, so is there anything else after this, brother? Okay, that's about it. So I just want to say one thing. Some of you, if you are not able to do dhyanam in the morning, it's okay. This can be, self-awareness can be developed where you are without the need of sitting in front of, in Padmasana and in front of your photograph. Self-awareness is being here and now. Practice present-mindedness. Wherever you are. In order to do that, in your daily routine, this is what I will suggest. Initially, if you are starting off, every 1 hour in your mobile phones, keep an alarm. And name that alarm, self-awareness alarm. Whatever you are doing, once the self-awareness alarm rings, our mobiles are never away from us, right? Am I right? Once the self-awareness alarm rings, whatever you are doing, drop it and then sit down just for 1 minute. Close your eyes, focus on your breath, try to go inside, come out, continue what you are doing. If you practice this in an 8-hour day or a 12-hour day, you would have done this activity 12 times, which means 12 minutes of meditation you would have done. Without you knowing, this is equally good. No need to sit for half an hour in the morning. 12 times a day, 1 minute every time. And gradually you'll see that when you start sitting for 1 minute, you want to sit for 2 minutes and 3 minutes. So strange. People who get used to peace do not want to come out of the peace so easily. You won't feel it's natural state, right? So that's what I wanted to share. And finally, before I hand it over, if there are 1 or 2 questions I can take, but I just want to say this for sisters, brothers. The topic is not introduced to us in most of our existing curricula, emotional intelligence. Therefore, it might look like for a session like this, it might look very, very abstract sometimes to you and a little fast. But nevertheless, my idea was to introduce and say that before we talk about spiritual quotient development, it is good for us as humans to first develop emotional quotient. If we can't manage the day-to-day situations in an emotionally stable way, sometimes getting spiritual evolution is not that easy. We have all used to physical quotients and then IQ, intelligence quotients. Now we need to gather this, our control on emotional, before we aspire for something more superior called spiritual. Is just my thought process, which I wanted to share with you. Thanks so much. Any questions, 1 or 2 questions, if they are there, we can take and we can end it up. So if it is so. Sir? So, Sir is giving a beautiful connotation saying that IQ, which is what is making you successful in this world, plus EQ, which is what is making you successful in the world, plus success for yourself, combination is SQ. That's what Sir is defining. Beautiful. IQ plus EQ is equal to SQ. So, but what is most important is XQ. I hope you are aware. What is XQ? X, not SQ, XQ. What is XQ? This is the most important. Whatever other quotients you pick up, this is the most important. XQ is execution quotient. We need to put it into action. We need to put it into action. Okay, this story for half a minute, shall I share and then close it? Gautam Buddha was making a lot of preachings in his lifetime across the country. There were some people who did not like Gautam Buddha because youngsters were turning into monks under him. So they would give up their worldly life and then become monks. Some people didn't like it. So they wanted to oppose Gautam Buddha and show that he's a cheat. Therefore, what they planned is that when Gautam Buddha came to their village to give a discourse that evening, they wanted to put him out and show that he was a cheat. So they tried to think of something impossible which he cannot answer. So they took a small bird in their hand, very small bird. So these young people put the bird in their hand and they put it behind. And they asked Gautam Buddha, "Oh, Venerable One, they say that you are omniscient. You know everything, just sitting there. Can you tell us, without coming and seeing, the one in our hand, is it a dead one or a live one? The one in our hand, is it a dead one or a live one?" Their plan was, if Gautam Buddha said it is dead, then they would leave it so that it will fly. If Gautam Buddha said it is live, they would just squeeze it. It is a small bird. They would squeeze it and show a dead bird. There can be only two answers, no in between, dead and live. So, anyway, Gautam Buddha is trapped. That's the ploy they had. But who is he? He is Gautam Buddha. So, the moment they asked this question, it seems he looked at them very pleasantly and he said, "My dear child, that is not in my hands, it's in your hands." That's not in my hands, it's in your hands. Which means, if you want to keep it alive, you can keep it alive. If you want to keep it dead, you can make it dead. Why I'm very enamored with this story, brothers and sisters, is that whenever Swami gives us an opportunity to collect like this, whenever we discuss anything, there are some few insights and few actions that come up for each one of us. Not everything might be applicable for everyone, but each one of us will have some action. Now that action point is like the bird in our hand. Whether you keep it alive or dead is not in the hands of the trainer or anybody. It is in your hands. Thanks so much for your patience. And thank you. I want to thank Swami, thank the management for this opportunity given to me, and then most importantly, thank each one of you for your patience. Thank you.